So welcome. This is, I think, class number 31. And here comes Alexandra. And welcome to being here today. So all of us here in the circle, just take a moment to close your eyes if you would like. Just take a deep breath and let that breath bring you into your body. And with that breath, let the breath sing to the evolutionary blueprint codes to say to them, keep strengthening. Keep awakening the codes resonance within every organ of my body, every system and structure. Singing to the environment, the culture, the community within which these organs and systems and structures exist. There's an underlying hum that supports all. We give appreciation for this body, for the messages we get through the body, for the part it plays in our evolution and restoration to our divine family's blueprint. One more time, open the crown chakra and breathe in the energy coming from the sun. That home energy recalibrated with more codes unique for Earth experience. Breathing it in, down through the crown chakra, down the midline of the body. Breathing that energy into all of the systems, organs, cultures, structures of the body suit that carries us. And then all that harmonics, that choir that is your song, move it right down out the soles of your feet to be the roots within Mother Earth, to say to her, I'm here again. She opens the door and says, I see you, I know you, in you come. And as you come into her home there in this large, beautiful country kitchen are so many other sisters. The room is abuzz. And the love we feel there, the support, the respect, the delight, the smiles, embrace us. And as we bring in those of our circle that are here, physical presence, we bring in those who are listening to the recordings. And we know the extension of these roots within the Earth Mother are worldwide and generations old. Let that yourself feel what it's like to be in that home. What of these feelings do you want to bring up into this circle and then into your own home? And when you get a sense of what that is, a feeling of what that is, bring yourself back here in the present moment. into this circle on sacred ground, triple cocooned with a hazmat suit. We continue to heal and transform and learn and create here in this sacred ground, in this space that is designed, we have created, called forth, anchored. It is opened, and so it is. Okay, so let's put ourselves into the circle. Sharon Raji here. The sun is out, so I might go pick apples a little bit later today. I'm picking them a few bundles at a time until I have enough, and then I put it out to my would-be island community, and they bring little families, bring their kiddos to pick apples, and so it's really fun, a fun experience. So I'm here, and I'm holding abundance, and I'm going to bring 6 people into the circle for our healing teams. Emma.
Hello, everyone. Emma from Williamstown, Massachusetts. And I would like to bring
Go ahead. That was
kindness into the circle. And I will bring in 3 people. And I will tag Angelique.
Thank you, Emma. Hello, everyone from the Netherlands. It is 10 something after 10 p.m. and I'm happy to see you. And I bring in 10 people and rainbow light and joy. And I tag Arlie.
Good morning. I'm Arlie in New Zealand, and I would like to bring in camaraderie and 6 people. And I will choose Cinda.
Cinda here, Portland, Oregon, and wow, it's a full, glorious day today. I would like to bring in angel blessings, and I'd like to bring in 1 person, and I will call Sharon Alexander.
Thank you. Hello, all from Colorado, where it is a glorious, glorious fall day. And I would like to bring in true colors, the authenticness that shines through at this time of year, and 3 people. Thank you. And I want to call on.
Oop, I didn't hear the name, Sharon.
Avi.
Cool. I'm Avi in New Zealand, and I'd like to bring in calm this morning. And I'd like to bring 5 people into the circle today. And I'll pass it to Tara.
Thank you, Abby. I am here in Arizona to bring opportunity and change. And I would like to bring in 10 people and 3 4-leggeds. And I would like to call on Alexandra. But
So Alexandra, can you get on by phone? I think that's the best way for her to at least have voice. Alexandra, as soon as you have, where you're here by phone and you can tell us what you want in the circle, we'll come back to you. Is that okay? Now I muted myself. Okay, so we're going to start as usual with just opening up space for any questions or feedback before we get into what we're going to be doing today. So if any of you have anything you want to bring in to share your wins or your questions or whatever, floor's yours, popcorn style. And here comes Alexandra by phone. And so, hi, Alexandra.
Hello. Let's see.
Whoops, you muted you. Yeah, there you go. Unmute.
Well, I actually thought it was going to last more than 5 minutes today, but it didn't. So I'm on the phone. This is Alexandra. It's a rainy day in North Carolina, and I'm getting ready to do a holiday market, so I may not be able to stay the whole time. I've got to pack, and but I would like to bring in focus and productivity, and I would like to bring in 8 people. Thank you.
Thank you, Alexandra. Welcome back, Emma. So we have 52 people and 3 four-legged people. And before we get into our part, let's just call in their causal teams, their higher self, to connect them to the Tag Healing Collective, the PTOs, and place them in the hands of those who can move them to whatever is highest and best for them as we meet. We place them in the hands of that team that is unique for what each of them need, and activate the deep six and tag healing on their behalf. And so it is. Okay. So any questions, any sharing, any feedback? We'll go to that. Okay, I want to share, and I'll share, and then if anybody thinks of something after I'm finished, there'll be space. I read an article written from the yoga community, a compilation of different yoga communities, the concern they have some have in that community of how they are going toward QAnon, which means they're going toward the far right here in this country. And some in our community have seen that happening with their friends, people who are what we would think would be new, personal growth and spiritual, and all of a sudden they're with the conspiracy theorists big time. And so they asked some of the leaders that were seeing it happen in their communities and were concerned about it, what they thought was happening. And they said that what they're foreseeing is that the mistrust that in many of the spiritual communities, the mistrust they have for Western medicine, that Western medicine isn't okay, and if you're spiritual, you don't need it, which was there before QAnon, that became a common language for the QAnon that started to speak in a similar way. And then as they spoke a little bit more extremely, that spiritual became your spiritual if you are anti-science, anti-medicine, anti-government. And they felt like that was what opened the door. So I sat with that thinking, okay, well, where would I go with that? And what I saw in the spiritual community, and I'm saying spiritual meaning personal growth, evolution, and starting way back in the 80s and 90s, there was that you do spiritual work, and if your physical life isn't working, it's because there's something wrong with being on the planet. So it was a disconnect between spiritual work and physical across the board. That they didn't see the relationship between the energy change or the energy and the disconnect in the physical. So if they were really having a hard time physically, that was just called because the physical world wasn't good, rather than saying what in my energy field needs to change in order for me to live abundantly. So there was not there wasn't the feedback like in our energy model. Everything in your life, everything that's manifesting for you has its beginning in your field. Either your direct field, your ancestral energy field, or a collective field you're a part of, but it begins in energy. And if you change it in energy, it changes in the physical. And if it doesn't change in the physical, it's because there's still more to do in the spiritual. So there were many spiritual teachers, especially men, who were spiritual and they were gurus, and a lot of women followed them. And then we come to find out that they were being sexually abusive to the women in their community, calling it a spiritual sex. It was that kind of disconnect. And I think that, that's what I want to just point out, that, staying really clear that we live under the law of manifestation, meaning energy that's in the unseen is going to manifest in the physical world. We need the physical world to give us feedback about what we need to do in the unseen. It's a critical part of being on the planet and a critical reason for being on the planet. So, I'm hoping that we can stay connected to the understanding that, are there baddies in the world? Yes, there are. Why do we know that? Because it's manifesting in our lives. So what do? We look at where we need to go in the unseen world to eliminate the seed or cause or insertion of what has allowed the evil, destructive, or disease to be there. That's the tack we take in this community. So I just wanted to put that out there, that disconnect between, in that new age spiritual personal growth, it has been there a long time, where the spiritual is what's most important. And if your physical world shits, it's just you get out of here as fast as you can, but you don't have to, there's the mistrust, the misuse, really, the misunderstanding of what the physical world is all about. And so it would be an easy slide for that kind of disconnect to be afraid of anything that's physical, whether it's, and that of course, Western medicine became part of your spiritual, therefore you don't need Western medicine. It became part of it too, didn't it? Emma and Arlie, I think both of you moved. Emma?
Yeah, one of the things, there's certainly subsets of the New Agey spiritual community who say whatever is in your life is manifesting because it's in your energy field, but they shift it into a blame the victim game. So it's your fault because you haven't cleaned up enough, and it's your fault because you're still, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And that can be also very destructive.
Yeah. It's another way of causing a divide, because we don't understand that, hey, if you're still experiencing it, I can still see it and go where you maybe can't go yet, to eliminate it, because you're showing it and I'm vicariously seeing it. Therefore, I have a responsibility to clear, and have the right to clear that's in the unseen. Yeah, that's true, Emma. Arlie, were you moving to unmute? Okay, you were just moving. Anybody else? There's Cinda.
So I had a really interesting experience on Monday after our Guardian Circle call. Well, actually, it was during it. some people were you were talking, Sharon, about the embargo that was happening out there, and the Facebook whistleblower had just come public on 60 Minutes the night before, and the whole group was talking about different things that were happening, you know, around the globe that were all rather frightening. And so while everyone was talking, I went online to do a search under embargo and to do a search under the whistleblower, just because I haven't watched the news forever and I wanted to know where to direct the energy. What is fascinating for me is what came up on my search was all good. Everything that came on, I mean, you know, there was a whistleblower, but to me, that is an entity in a female bodysuit speaking up for what is right in the world and to shift the paradigm. And I went, oh my God, there that is. So I flagged that to watch after the call was over. I had been doing some earth healing rituals with the energy of grace around the country of Australia and the dead lands that are just, you know, dying and dying and dying. And one of the things that came up on the screen was that there is this island that is so plush and so gorgeous and thriving right now, and they're giving it back to the indigenous people, this whole plot of land. And then I went, oh my God. And then below that was a new breed of bird that hadn't been seen before that is now, you know, been recognized. I think it might have been a hawk or something. Maybe it was an owl. And I was just like, we've been doing the work. But what was interesting is for me, is I realized energetically, my reality, I am drawing to me that which I am, you know, I think, you know, you say, Sharon, what I choose to believe in is what I'm going to manifest and what's going to show up. And I don't know, all of a sudden on my thread was these new news headlines of everything that was good in the world. None of which you see out there, none of which is getting the major headlines. And I realized for myself that that's what I am choosing to focus on. And then that's what the universe is providing me to continue to focus on, even though I'm not denying the other stuff was there because I ended up finding it later. But I had to do a deep dive to find the bad. And usually you have to do a deep dive to find the good. And anyway, I just wanted to share that because I thought that that was extraordinary.
I think when we were starting this call, it was like what shows up in your world is what it is for you to deal with that day or that moment, you know. And so sometimes it's when you get up and there's what's there to do, like, I don't know, nothing to do, and then all of a sudden this shows up or that voice shows. I mean, you know, we're here present, and our stand, like reflecting our stand would be what you said, essentially a confirmation of what your stand is, to keep shining the light on good, on good, which is not in any way negating. And when there's time, if there's a time for you to have to say, okay, there's what I don't want, I've got a tool for it, but it's not what we're majorly about anymore. Where, you know, 20 years ago, we spent a lot of time, really a lot of time. I spent a lot of time on the inner planes, what's next and what's next and what's next and what, and it's lessened. It's almost like 10% of, okay, handle that, turn that over, and then create. And it's, you know, there's really a big shift going on. Yeah, thank you, Cinda. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a trip. You personally are going to take a trip back to your divine family. Now, do you if you remember which family you are a part of, raise your hand. Do you remember what family you're a part of? I'm going to go over here because I probably ought to pull up the paper so I can, 7 families, right? And I'm just scrolling down here because I didn't pull this part up. I didn't think about that. Pull this up and see. Okay, so we have a divine family of curiosity, of joy, of peace, of leadership, of inner knowing, of connection to source, kind of holding that knowingness of home. So anybody not remember what their divine family is? Raise your hand. Okay.
I just didn't hear you say it, but it was the like the clarity identifying bullshit one.
Leadership and clarity. Is clarity.
Okay.
So that's the same one. Yeah. Yeah. Anybody else not know? Okay.
Taryn, I always guessed that it was curiosity, but I don't really know for sure. But I'm just gonna go with that one.
Yep, they say go with that one. I get that one. So you are going to go back for a visit to your divine family. And there is a purpose of you going back because you're the one who left home and extended and traveled and experienced and knows and knows and knows. And Alexandra, I'm going to just, she says she doesn't know for sure hers. Let me see what I get for yours, Alexandra. They tell me that yours is a family of intuition, inner knowing. So we'll let you have that one for now. I think that's the right one for you.
Will you do that for me,
Uh-huh.
Sharon?
They say that what your divine family, Sharon, they're saying is the family of that what we call unconditional is like love, what love is and what love is not, what love is, which is it's a subset of all that is, isn't it? So you could feel like a curiosity, but it's more like, okay, in that whole range of curiosity, though, it's like, this is what love is. Anyone else want to? Angelique?
Yes, I am just all the time thinking it's called home, but I think it's not the perfect name
Okay,
for
let's
it.
see what I get for you. Yeah, it's the same as Sharon, which would be that it would be love. This is what love is.
Well, as long as we're here, I'd like confirmation.
What do you think yours
What-
is? What do you get? What do you think yours is?
Inner
You were
knowing,
gone. You were
intuition.
gone, Sharon. Which one was it?
Oh, love. Love, which would be like home.
Okay.
Like when I say the family of home, it's almost like that's more of an etheric feeling, where love would be like that home energy made more tactile, if that makes
That
sense.
was the seventh family, not?
Yeah, that was your 7th family. That was one
Yeah.
of, and what do you think yours is, Arlie?
Inner knowing.
They say it's inner knowing. You're right. Oh, Emma wants a double check. What do you think yours is, Emma?
Curiosity.
You're correct. Curiosity.
Could I have a double check?
Yeah. What do you think yours is, Avi?
I thought mine was the leadership clarity one.
It is. It is. Watch out for Evie. I mean, Avi. I have a friend, Evie, so it was a slip of the tongue there. Okay. So you are going to go back and there are going to be your cousins and your parents, your grandparents, all the family. And you're going to take 3 items with you from this physical world that they've never been in. They haven't extended that far. So you are going to take 3 items that you can use to show your family what life has been like for you. And I'm going to turn off the camera. I'm going to give you 3 minutes. You're going to look around your house like you're going to pack your bag. 3 items that would represent something you could tell your divine family what life has been like for you, whatever you remember about your journey. Okay? So I'll see you in 3. I have about 1 more minute. Count down to 30 seconds. Okay, 3, 2, 1, and we are back. The purpose of what we're doing today is to see what you know. What do you remember and how it works for you? So I'm going to put you into groups. There'll be 2 or 3 per group. And you're going to take turns with 1 item at a time. 1 item, everybody goes around. If you have time, do the second item. Everyone goes around. The person who's speaking is the person who's returning, and the people who are listening is the family that's never been there before. So you might find that the family who've never been there before will have like doe eyes and go like, what do you mean? So feel free to say to each, what do you mean about that? I don't understand, have this, you are going home and you're going to share 1 item at a time, what your life has been like. And if you take 3 minutes, you'll be able to share 1 item. Because we're going to be in the breakout. We're going to be there for 15 minutes. So realize that if you might be able to take 2 minutes per item. If you get through sooner, then you can sit and chit chat. But you're going home. The people in your group are waiting for you. They've never been where you've been before. What are you going to tell them? What's the item going to represent of what you're going to tell them, one by one by one? And any questions? Okie dokie. So here we go. And you'll have, I think what I'll do, I will do, I'll let you know when you have 5 minutes left, and you can decide how you want to use the last 5 minutes, and then you'll have a 1 minute warning. So a 5 minute warning and a 1 minute warning. And Alexandra, I think I've got you by phone, and you should go into the room by phone. I think that's how it works. So all I know about the phone thing. Okay, we'll see you in 15.